Ladies and gentlemen, the BSF Orchestra with Maestro Žiga Pirnat.
Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, good evening. Kalispera, buonasera, dober večer. A decade ago, this stage hosted for the first time what would become a unique experience of merging creativity with discussions on global challenges. A get-together of leaders and virtuosos, a consonance of art and diplomacy. Since then, we have transformed most of the Bled Strategic Forum themes into music and picture. We brought together artists, scholars, diplomats to discuss the soft power of art. Tonight we celebrate the legacy with the orchestra and hope to take you on an inspiring journey of music, picture, and the retrospective of the forum with our special guests. As you know, this year's forum is about solidarity. On that note, we invite you to contribute to a special relief account established by the forum for those affected by the recent historic floods in Slovenia. Slovenian mobile phone subscribers can donate by texting the keyword poplave 10 to 1919 to contribute €10. Our guests from abroad can donate by scanning the QR code on your TV screens, also seen behind me, or going to bit.ly/bled2023. Your help is greatly appreciated. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite on stage a great friend of the arts and music to open the concert officially. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of Slovenia, Dr. Nataša Pirc Musar.
Dear Excellencies, dear President of the Hellenic Republic, Katerina Sakelaropoulou, dear ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to see that so many of you have decided to join the Bled Strategic Forum, which year after year brings together leaders from the governmental sector and civil society who have the knowledge, passion, and commitment to influence international affairs. To all of you coming from abroad, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to Slovenia and thank you for supporting the forum and its goals. This year's forum, like any other similar event in the world, may have a very specific title, but essentially the title revolves around a single global question: how to avoid war and preserve peace. The longer I serve as the President of Slovenia, the more I realize that this is the wrong question to ask. Because when it comes to peace, there should be no question at all. Peace should have been the normal state of affairs. Unfortunately, it seems the wars are. Peace must become a constant in any society that wants to call itself a civilization. I do not deny that power matters, but I do believe that power and its sources must be thoroughly explored. I argue that the display of power is only the surface of much deeper and more complex relationships between people and ultimately between nations. It is how we understand power and how we use it matters. I therefore propose that we talk about the knowledge of power. More specifically, we need to discuss a different, relatively simple question here at the Bled Strategic Forum and elsewhere. What keeps us apart and what brings us together? That is the real challenge of managing power. Take, for example, the power of trust, which was the central theme of one of the previous editions of the forum. It almost seems as if there is no such power left anymore that could keep us together. We simply do not trust each other anymore. Social media were not invented to disconnect us, but that's exactly what they do. We study the intentions of other people, of other countries, often assuming the worst. We do not believe that their intentions are sincere. As a lawyer, I can confirm that yes, the law can facilitate social progress to some extent. It can bring us together. Social media, for example, should be subject to regulation. But trust, ladies and gentlemen, trust cannot be regulated by law. It cannot be enshrined in a constitution or in an international convention. By losing trust, we attack the very foundations of an organized society. Or take the power of solidarity. Solidarity is an important theme of this year's forum. But when I look around and see where the world is going, I keep asking myself, what happened to that power? About a century ago, Europeans experienced indescribable violence, unemployment, poverty, hunger, and deadly diseases. They experienced 2 world wars. Now, when many Europeans are doing well, we give back too little. In Europe alone, millions of people live below the poverty line. Solidarity was supposed to bring us together. The lack of it keeps us apart. Or what about the power of democracy? Only people who are free and educated are informed enough to choose their way of life. They are likely to be more innovative and contribute to the overall strength of their society. They will be able to interact much more easily with friends and colleagues from different parts of the world and develop empathy for others. They will not be afraid of what awaits them at home if they are too critical of their own governments. Sadly, not everywhere in the world, not even in Europe, is democracy fully realized as a way of life. This leads to disillusionment and eventually to an exodus of the youngest and most active members of our societies. They migrate from environments with less democracy and prosperity and more corruption to places where they can realize their aspiration and live in dignity. Another, more sinister aspect of the power of democracy is the danger of its abuse. And this is something that has become alarmingly easy and widespread with the tools brought about by the 4th Industrial Revolution. Disinformation, privacy concerns, micro-targeting of voters or consumers without their knowledge or consent are just some of the issues that are only going to get worse as technology continues to advance. And this is why the power of science should never be underestimated. We can and must trust science. But only if the scientists are trustworthy too. This prerequisite is crucial in the age of artificial intelligence. We need good global regulation to manage this power. The Secretary General of United Nations agrees. He has backed a proposal for the creation of an international AI watchdog body similar to the International Atomic Energy Agency. Humility and modesty, ladies and gentlemen, is the next power I wish to address. For centuries, the value of our civilization has not been less is more, but profit translated into the term economic growth. We live under the illusion that our economies will grow forever. We should rather strive for less, but better. Every step towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals means a step away from the extinction of humanity. Nowhere, literally nowhere, is our lack of power to manage power more visible than in our century's confrontation with a truly mighty power, the power of nature. Just recently, we have experienced that power in Slovenia, the devastating floods in my country. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have always hoped that the brute force of nature would spare Slovenia. Now I hope to the bottom of my heart that the mighty force of nature will spare your countries and the lives of your loved ones. Solidarity was and is the key for all of us in such circumstances. Many countries represented at the forum helped Slovenia. I thank you all. Hvala lepa. Slovenia will always help you as well. What has happened here is a stark reminder of what scientists have been warning us for decades. We have lost many battles against climate change already, but there is still much we can do to adapt to climate change and to do all we can to stop raising the Earth's temperature. I hope that we, humanity, will finally come to accept this reality everywhere in the world. In practice, resources should be put where they need to be put, not just in theory and in political declarations. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to dive into a mesmerizing night of music with our special guest and this wonderful young composer and his orchestra. I'm most confident that this will be more than just another concert, but rather a celebration of the forum's creative legacy. A legacy which over all these years has shown how music, visuals, and arts in general can often reach more where diplomacy, economics, and hard power cannot. I wish you all an inspiring evening and a pleasant stay in Bled. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President, for that warm welcome.